way we've been developing and building communities for the last 50 to 100 years hasn't really changed or moved the needle significantly. We've been building things and developing communities similarly for quite a while. And this has led to single-use zoning patterns, especially in North America. It's led to isolation of the aged or younger communities. It's led to food deserts where whole communities and subdivisions don't have access to healthy living or healthy food. There is a better way. The world is evolving, and a lot of technological and nuanced advantages and developments are occurring. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 essential ingredients for developing future-focused, complete communities. And I'm going to talk about how we at the Nadi Group can help aspiring or experienced developers to achieve the dream of designing a better world through developing better, more holistic communities. My name is Emeka Nnadi. For those of you who don't already know me, I am the founding principal of the Nadi Group, and we are an architecture, urban design, and landscape architectural practice dedicated and committed to moving forward with innovative solutions for urban development and design throughout the world. Today, I want to walk through the notion of next generation complete communities with you. And we'll be exploring 5 ingredients for successful next generation communities. Just think, for example, throughout the world, innovation is happening at lightning speed. We're innovating how we work, how we live. We're innovating different technologies, but we haven't really spent a lot of time talking about what it means to innovate where we live, to innovate our urban and suburban communities. And that's what we're going to touch on today with the 5 ingredients for next generation complete communities. The first ingredient that I think of when I think about next generation complete community is the multi-generational aspect of it. So thinking about communities that are inherently multi-generational means a number of things. It especially means that you can live in these types of communities from sort of dawn to dusk, from birth to graceful aging away, while continuing to be relevant within these communities. So some of the aspects to that would include flexible housing units and typologies. So the units that you live in would be adaptable for different stages in life and different requirements. Movable walls, convertible spaces. Something that we've done a lot of is designing visitable homes that allow for motion or movement impeded seniors to access homes gracefully, things like that. Another sub-ingredient would be shared amenities, thinking about gardens, workshops, communal kitchens, places where community activities can really thrive. A third point there is integrating childcare and seniors care or elder care within the larger community so that you don't have to leave the community to access some of these types of services. And other enhancements in terms of barrier-free or accessible design standards, not just at the home or the house level, but at the community level. So when you allow these things to happen, you create inherently multi-generational living and generational communities. Of course, certain homes could stand alone as multi-generational homes with a number of bedrooms or a number of suites. ADUs or accessory dwelling units are a significant feature in today's society, but taking those types of ideas and technologies further than just at the singular lot level and into the community fabric would be an important enhancement for next generation complete communities. The second ingredient would be the ability to provide a diverse mix of uses and functions. So let's think about moving well past, last generation's zoning segregation into more truly walkable, self-contained urban villages is what I like to call them, where all of your daily needs can be met within a 15-minute radius. Some of the key features of those types of communities would be a balance of commercial, retail, educational, healthcare, and cultural uses, all co-located with residences. Think about smaller scale, street-facing retail that keeps the community engaged and keeps activity where we can all see it. Think about distributing administrative and co-working units, so work share units or co-work units within the community fabric, so that the commute to work becomes a 10-minute walk from door to door, things like that, to reduce vehicular commuting. And then think about other types of spaces, hybrid spaces for a mix of things. So cafes that allow you to sit there, sip your coffee and work. So that double as co-working spaces, parks with embedded outdoor or indoor fitness facilities, circuits, plazas that host markets and performances. Bringing that type of diversity to a granular level and embedding them as core parts of community development would really be a strong ingredient for future focused, next generation complete communities. So the big advantage to all of this would be that this type of thinking increases economic vibrancy, increases and fosters entrepreneurship at the tactile local level, reduces dependencies on long commutes, which really sort of drain away at our active time. This directly impacts both climate change and lifestyle demands. So these are all some really good features for future complete communities. Here at Nadi Group, we've been concerned with the effects of climate change for a long time. We've also been really inspired and energized to pursue and stay at a leading edge of designing wholesome and holistic communities. If you're even thinking about designing or developing such a community, if you've got this vision to help make a change and build a better world, I'd really encourage you to contact us and reach out for a consultation. We'd love to work with you and move things forward. The third ingredient to next generation complete communities is providing a diverse, robust housing stock. So when I talk about diverse housing stock, I'm talking about ensuring that housing types or typologies reflect the spectrum of family structures, economic realities, and lifestyle preferences. So everything from studio apartment style housing, townhouse housing that is multifamily, condominium living, and single family homes. Single family homes don't need to be the bane of suburban existence. They can be part of a more dynamic, more mixed fabric, because people want different things, especially at different stages in their lives. But having that diversity within a single community and having the ability to choose and to change your choices in terms of housing stock without requiring you to leave the community is a key feature. So think about a mix of apartments, townhouses, courtyard housing, co-housing clusters, and detached units. Think about affordable by design principles, so smaller, more energy efficient housing units with shared amenities. Like these would lower the costs of living and of accommodations without lowering quality. Think about different ownership models or different residence models. So ownership being one, rental being another, and co-op systems maybe a third. Imagine having all of that co-located in one larger community. That kind of diversity really creates some vibrancy. So from a social perspective, a socially inclusive community that maintains long-term stability by avoiding socioeconomic monocultures is a key ingredient to next generation community building. My fourth ingredient for next generation complete communities is making sure that we enable deep connection with nature and the wider ecosystem. And the idea here is that integrating what we call the built environment seamlessly with natural systems, not because it looks good or because it's aesthetically pleasing, but because it's a core organizing principle and it's fundamental to the health and well-being of the community, is where we want to get to. So some of the key features of that type of treatment would include green corridors that allow for habitat restoration. Think butterfly gardens or deer habitat within your community, and having that woven throughout the residential areas, or passive walking loops, urban forests, community gardens, even edible landscapes. where people can actually find meaningful contact and connection with nature. Blue infrastructure, if you know what I mean by blue, I'm talking water. So water infrastructure, stormwater gardens, ponds, canals, serving both ecological benefits of flora and fauna within the water, but also the environmental and recreational functions of just having nice water bodies within your community. So thinking stormwater management to the X degree, things like that. And let's prioritize for the future non-motorized transport. In that case, imagine shaded pedestrian, cycling, walkways and trails that help connect the community together. So these types of things are not dystopian, they're not far-fetched, they are here and now, and bringing those into every single next generation community that we design or develop would be fantastic. My fifth ingredient for next generation complete communities revolves around the idea of designing for resilience. There's a lot going on in the world today, but we need to build communities that remain functional and safe under different types of pressures of climate change, infrastructure disruption, and economic shocks. This is going to be really important in the next few decades coming ahead. And some of the key features of this type of thinking might include, for example, decentralized utilities. So we're thinking microgrids, rainwater harvesting, gray water recycling, localized food production, greenhouses, aqua gardens, etc. Things like that, critical to the smooth operation and smooth existence of future communities. Let's also think in terms of renewable energy systems with built-in redundancies. So you could have solar farm field or wind farm field, or even there's new technologies that are talking about micro nuclear generators and things like that that can create and produce enough energy for the community. And think about those working in tandem with the national or the larger regional grid, so that when things are just fine and these communities produce more energy than they actually consume, some of that excess electrical energy is shared with the larger grid. And in reverse, when the community is drawing more energy that it's consuming, they can actually draw from the grid. So these types of redundant hybrid systems would be fantastic for the future. Think about materials and construction methods suited more to local climate and local climate risks, like heat, flooding, storms, forest fires, things like that. There's new technologies coming out every day that can be applied to things like 3D printed houses and other things that make these types of buildings and homes resilient to wind, to storms, to forest fires, etc. So let's think in those terms and innovate for the future that we see coming. And think about community level preparedness in the event of climate, extreme weather crises. So having community halls or community centers and having individuals trained to respond to emergencies at the local level. These types of things would create not just physical redundancies and resilience, but social resilience and preparedness for potential climate change or extreme weather emergencies. This type of holistic thinking is really, really critical to developing meaningful, complete communities that will stand the test of time. So some of the big advantages to what we've talked about include reducing vulnerability, ensuring continuity of essential services, and strengthening the trust between local residents and local governance. So here at Nadi Group, we do stand for building a better world. And building a better world in the places where we live, work, and play is paramount to our firm. Future-focused, complete communities will inherently have the support for multi-generational living. They will definitely have a mix of uses and functions. They will produce and provide a diverse housing stock and respond to different housing needs and capabilities. They will essentially trigger a deep and meaningful connection with the natural system of things, and certainly they'll be designed for resilience. This is core to our mission, core to our vision, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you if interested.